Hello, candle lovers. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Greg, and this is all about candles. And I have a review for you today from Bath and Body Works. This is Sweet Tea and Lemonade. And this is the version of Sweet Tea and Lemonade. Oh, it's dirty. I have my grubby hands all over it. This is the version of Sweet Tea and Lemonade that came out last year. It's come out again this year in packaging that looks like this. And I was pretty sure I wasn't gonna want to buy it again because I did buy it last summertime. And I think part of the reason why I bought it was because there was a really good sale and I thought the packaging was really cute. This packaging is actually quite a departure for Bath and Body Works. I mean, I don't recall ever seeing a bright yellow lid that quite looked like that before, as well as like a matte white container with like a fuzzy, it's almost like a felt label on there, with like the old school sort of like Bath and Body Works like sunrise on it. So I thought it was just kind of an interesting candle in terms of packaging. It smelled a little bit too sweet for me on cold, and notice I didn't actually end up burning it last summer. It kind of got put away in storage for all of fall and winter, and then I brought it back out this summer, and I decided I was gonna give it a try. Not my favorite fragrance in the world. However, if you do like this fragrance, I think that this was a pretty successful candle. The scent notes on it are brewed sweet tea, fresh squeezed lemons, and sugar crystals. And I think that if I could have changed something about this, I would have just wanted it to have not been quite so sweet. It's definitely like a sweet iced tea, which I think is peculiar. I don't know, like you guys, I have lots of followers from the States and in Canada. And in the States, at 90% of the restaurants that you go to, if you order an iced tea, it's like unsweetened, freshly brewed iced tea, and I love that. But in Canada, if you order an iced tea, 90% of the restaurants that you go to, you get really, really sweet iced tea. Like, you know, from like a pop gun, like Nestea or Brisk or, you know, something like that. It's very, very sweet iced tea up here. And whenever I'm having lunch with people from the States and they order an iced tea, I always will warn them. I'll be like, just so you know, up here, the iced tea is not the same. And I wish that I wish that this candle had been like an unsweetened iced tea and lemonade, because it really is very, very, very sweet and lemony. It really does smell like, up here in Canada, I think the big iced tea is by Nestle. It really, really smells like that kind of iced tea with lemonade in it. We call that an Arnold Palmer, like when you mix lemonade and iced tea together. It smells like a really, really sweet kind of synthetic Arnold Palmer to me. Like, that lemonade is like pretty sweet as well. It smelled the same burning as it did on cold for the most part. The scent notes are not misleading. It says sweet brewed tea, fresh squeezed lemon, and sugar crystals. And another interesting thing that I've kind of noticed about myself lately is that as much as I enjoy the smell of tea, and I'm a big tea drinker, I don't think I really enjoy tea fragrances in like home fragrance. You know what I mean? I've tried a lot, and there's always just something about it that is kind of odd for me. Something about tea fragrances for me and home fragrance always kind of smells sort of like performative and artificial and just not the real thing. Like, you know, putting your nose up to a great cup of like steaming hot tea. Ooh, I was at this restaurant the other day and I ordered, they had like an Earl Grey lavender tea. Now maybe that candle I would try. That was delicious. But anyways, very, very sweet Arnold Palmer fragrance, you know, equal parts lemonade and sweet iced tea. I wouldn't say it's a particularly well-balanced fragrance. It's very, very high in range without really that much happening in like the middle or the base of the fragrance. It's like a very sweet, top-heavy, lemony note, and then also a top to mid sort of like sweet tea note. Yeah, it really wasn't my favorite fragrance. Can't say I'm gonna repurchase this. However, if you do like the way that this fragrance smells in the store on cold, I actually think that it worked pretty well as a candle. I mean, I burned this all the way down until I could see the wick nickels. To be honest, I probably could get one more burn out of it or put it under a candle lamp or in a candle crock, but I'm not really interested in continuing this experience, to be honest with you. It was a nice clean burn though. It never really dudded out. I do see that there's a little bit of a soot stain there, but for the most part, I thought it was a really good clean burner from top to bottom. No dudding out, no issues, and it was strong too. I'd say I never even moved this into a smaller space because I didn't need it to get any stronger. In my more open space, I'd say it was like a solid 7 or a 7.5 for strength and throw. It was really very noticeable, and I feel like if I had moved it into a bedroom or a bathroom, it would have gotten up to like an 8 or an 8.5, which would just have been a bit much for me. You know, as far as sort of like iced tea fragrances from Bath and Body Works goes, one that I really do like is iced dragon fruit tea. I do like that fragrance a lot. I think there's a really sort of interesting kind of fruity and salty component to that fragrance. That is the one tea fragrance from Bath and Body Works that I think, you know, I've repurchased and really enjoyed quite a bit. This one was just a bit too sweet for me. I wish it had been the American style of iced tea and a lemonade that was not quite so sort of like a little bit artificial, you know? Yeah, just honestly, not my fragrance, but I actually think it was a pretty successful candle. If you like fragrances like that, it wasn't terrible. That's all I've got for you guys today. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. You can follow me on Instagram at allaboutcandles and email your burning questions to allaboutcandles@gmail.com. If you wanted to hit me up with a like, a comment, subscribe to my channel, I would really appreciate that. And until next time, my dear gorgeous and beautiful candle loving friends, let's burn some candles and bitch about it. Thanks, you guys. Bye for now.